Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. This is Director Kim. Hope you're doing good, and today I want to show you how I want us to discuss how beginners makes mistakes, and I'm going to show you five things you have to be aware when you're doing choral grading. All right, I'm about to tell you this. These five things that I'm going to explaining to you are the things that I've explained deeply to the master classes. So I'm like, okay, let me go to the YouTube and try to do a very simply tutorial, a simply explanation about these two things that you have to be aware when you're doing a choral grading. But if you want the deeper explanations, I have a masterclass, phase 1 and phase 2. It's a very deeper explanation, and this is very helpful. So if you want to know more about choral grading, you could contact me. I will tell you, I will show you the world of choral grading. I teach you, I mentor you to be a professional choralist, and I have a loot package as well. And also I do a WhatsApp group which is we discuss about choral grading more often. If you just buy one of my products, you have to be careful with this. Okay, a lot of people come into my WhatsApp and they be like, okay, the Director Kim, I want you to join us to the WhatsApp group. My WhatsApp group is not for everyone that they can come and get me. No, it's not like that. When you buy my masterclass, when you buy my loot, you go have accessibility to come and join me. So let me not talking much, let me explain about what I'm about to give you today. These 5 things you have to be aware when you do choral grading, and it's going to be very helpful for you. Choral management, exposing your picture, dynamic separations, color separations, and building looks. Building looks is a very extra miles thing. It's taking time, it's taking days to practice to creating look and skin tones, but these other 4 you have to learn and practice it every single day in your life. So when you join into my masterclass, when you join to my group, these 4 things is not going to be difficult to you, as well as I have so many footage for practice. So you can come into my box, buy my masterclass or my load. You go have an accessibility to have a free footage for making practice. Okay, let me jump into the tutorial before wasting your time. So now we are inside of the davinci Resolve. As you can see, this is how exactly I've done the choral grading. So I'm about to explain to you today about those mistakes at the beginning they often like to do, and they don't realize that they do mistakes until we tell them that they do wrong. All right, so it's not like they do it wrong, it's like they don't know a further option of doing a perfect when they doing choral grading. All right, without me wasting time, let me try to go a quick explanations. Most of beginners, when they see the footage just like this, they'll be like, okay, now we can just, the picture is less of saturation, I can increase the saturation. All right, so now it's very flat, I can increase a contrast, maybe like this. Now it's looking good. This is for a beginner that maybe he know the rules about a note, but some of them, they do these mistakes. They come and make a note just like this, only a single note, and they do a lot of things inside of it. Like this is choral correction, this is correction, boom. Okay, then we start with saturations and then cranked the contrast just like this. Well, this is too much, somewhere around here, and maybe yeah, somewhere around here, maybe an exposure, because he know about note trees, about lifting gum again. heard about it or know about it. All right, temperature, boom, they be like that. All right, they will satisfy with the color corrections, and then jump into another node. Maybe they be like, okay, this is look, this is where I created my look, and then they be like, okay, I'm pulling my blue to the cyan pot to have a nice orange in here, and pushing my yellow to the orange and my red a bit to have a nice orange in tea look, just like this. It's not like it's bad, it's good, but you can't do that if you are a professional colorist and you know exactly what you are doing. All right, maybe they will come because they know about qualified skin tone. They will come and qualify the skin tone like this. Check out, this is looking good, and increase the gamma to the skin tone, reducing a saturation of a skin tone, and they will be like, all right, now we have a very perfect color grading, and I'm very excited about the result of color grading. It's beautiful. But some people, if they just bought a lot from Derry to Kim, oh, now I have a loot, so yeah, I have a loot. I don't have to be worried about color grading. I do my color correction and starting choose a type of look that I need from Director Kim. This is his package. It's working nice, it's working beautiful. So I'm going to look at the color that's is working beautiful to my image. Maybe this one is looking very beautiful. I love this loot. Okay, now we are exporting the videos done. No, color grading is not like working like that. As a pro, it's not working like that. Okay, let me show you another mistake. Color management. It's a very big problem for most of people when they start into color grading, especially for the beginners who don't know about color senses. And when it comes to color grading, they just heard or saw somewhere they do color management or color space transformations or color senses, and they do exactly what the people do, but they don't know what they're doing. All right, maybe some beginners, they come to the settings and starting change davinci word gamma to davinci color management because they saw it or someone's explaining about it, but they didn't even digging deeper how exactly it's going to affect my image or my production or my processes, and what I have to do or what I don't have to do when they do these processes. And this is most of people, they go mad about their color space. And I'm about to tell you, if you know about color senses perfectly, you're not gonna have any problem about collecting your pictures. Maybe creating look is going to be a problem, but not about correcting your pictures. All right, so they be like, okay, let me go to HDR S2R to Red 79, pressing OK. So you're going to see the picture changes. This is because this picture on raw shout out to the director or to the someone who shot this video, because I downloaded this video. I watched so many of the tutorials, so I saw there's someone who shot this picture and he also made a tutorial of it. His name is Derek Chris. You can come here is his account to the screen so that you can see how exactly he do a color gradings and shot his channels. Everything's right there, explanations. It's beautiful, it's good guys, it's good guy. All right, let me keep going. So this is the mistakes when you're doing a color grading inside of color management or inside of color science like this. You can't have a costumes further options to do your things. That's why to me, to Bamama side, I recommend you to use a color space transformations. This is because maybe you have to use a LUT or use 30 plugins. Some 30 plugins they not allow you to do things inside of color management or inside of a color space. You don't have any flexibility to do your further options. And also there's these massive problems when you do your color grading inside of color management. If you never did well, you choosing your perfect color senses, when you're exporting your video, your final result, your deliver, you're going to see it's acting different. The color that you're having inside of a DaVinci Resolve is going to be different when you're exporting your videos. So many people facing these issues, so many people they're facing these problems. So today you have to be aware with your choices of doing your process. Okay, another issue about using color space transformations. If you are using color space transformations, if you just saw director Kim put an information about red camera, red white gamuts, and this to your footage, and you also want to put the exactly profile that's I just use into the tutorials, or you saw somewhere they use red and you feel like, okay, now this is good, this is beautiful, I can use that. No, every camera has its own profile, has its own color senses, has its own color transformations. So you have to be you have to understand, you have to know what the profile the camera or the director used, or what profile you just used. Maybe you just shot in a standard profile. Okay, you just shot in standard profile and you shot with the Canon. It's not like you are shooting with the Canon, so you come here and choose a Canon Cinema Gamut or a Canon like Cine Log and watch any type of log you're going to choose over there. It's not working like that. If you shot with the Canon but your footage is the standard, you have to use Rec 709 because it's one of a similar color science to the standard. It's not like the same exactly, but it's work a bit similar. But if you shot with the log, you have to put the exactly log that you use. If you shot with the Panasonic, there is a Panasonic profile. If you shot with the red, there is the red. If you shot with the Sony, there is the Sony. Like this one is Black Magic. This is Black Magic. So I'm going to choose a Black Magic, and then you have to know which Black Magic it's been shot, 4K, 6K, which generation of a picture. When you do wrong, your picture is going to act differently. So this one is, I guess it's a 6K, because when I try to find this one, January 5, it's working nice. So this is Black Magic 6K pocket film, like this film. Boom, you see now how beautiful it is contrasting, or it's giving a direct 709 picture to my image. And this is what exactly beginners they do mistakes. Or if you want to convert this log into another log, some people they go be like, okay, this is Black Magic, so I want to convert it into DaVinci White Gamut, and then they put DaVinci White Gamut, and then to the output they put Rec 709 just like this, and they be like, okay, now we have a DaVinci White Gamut. No, it's not working like that. You know they work like that. All right, let me show you how you can convert your color sciences into another color sciences. I want to convert this footage into DaVinci White Gamut. So what I'm about to do is putting the information of exactly a profile picture, a profile picture to your camera, and then convert it into convert it into DaVinci White Gamut to do your output. You see, so this is Black Magic, and then I'm going to convert it to DaVinci White Gamut intermediate like this, and then I'm going to put another color space into there, and then I'm going to use DaVinci White Gamut, DaVinci Intermediate, Rec 709, Gamma 2.4. This is a beautiful output. This is a beautiful output color space we love to use is DaVinci White Gamut. Gamma 2.4 is very nice output from Rec 709 is okay. some people, they going to be like, we are doing processing here. If you are doing process here, you do wrong, because you still doing your process inside of Blackmagic color space. So if you want to do your process, you have to do it in the middle of these two nodes. This is input and this is output. When you're doing your thing here, it means you are doing inside of DaVinci White Gamut. You have a DaVinci Color Sciences. That is how it works. But when you do here, is you are doing things inside of Blackmagic. So you are still in Blackmagic, even though you have a DaVinci White Gamut at the middle of it. So the information from here to here is Blackmagic, but the information from here to here is DaVinci. But information from here to here is a Rec 709, which is output. So there's this difference. When you do things here, you're still doing things. You just do things outside of Rec 709. But when you are doing things here like this, and you have a Rec 709 like this, comma, you also doing things outside of a Rec 709. You're also doing things in Auto Rec 709. So you're going to feel like the result from here, even though we converted the footage into DaVinci White Gamut or using the same color space of Blackmagic, but when you do thing here, there is no difference, because all of these color sciences converted to Rec 709. I hope you got or understand what I'm talking about there. All right, so now let's jump into another issues that beginner they do and they don't know what exactly they're doing. Another issue that they do is it because they've been told like lift is about the you are doing affecting to the shadow, gamma you're doing affected to the midtone, and left and again you're doing affected to the highlight. So they'll be like, okay, the picture like this, I have to do the process. Offset is about overall exposure. So when they found a picture like this, they are about to do exposing, like I want to drag it down my offset so that I can have a dark mode, or I have to increase my offset so that I can have very highlighted picture. All right, I'm losing a shadow, so I can come and bring down my gain like this. Now we have a very perfect balance of my lift and then my midtone, and then I have to increase in my gain like that so that I can have also the contrasted of a picture just like this. This now is starting to look very nice contrasted. They be like, okay, I'm satisfied with this. Look at the picture. Look, it's very contrasted. It's very nice balance of exposure. It's nice. Okay, let me keep going doing my color grading or creating my look. All right, it's beautiful. Now you can have your minds beautiful, but that is wrong. That is too wrong. There's a people say that if you want to expose your picture, make sure you don't above this 0 points above. I mean this part, I mean this 1,000 points. You have to touch and 1,000 points above, and you don't have to go over 0 or the picture when you overexpose the lift too much, you're going to see the cranking things going on over there. So you don't have to do so. Make sure it's 0, make sure it's touching at 1,000 points, make sure the midtone is touching about here. But this is not what I'm doing. I often my pictures touching to the 8%. I mean this 8 over here. My blocks and my shadow around 100 and a little bit touching to the 0, not exactly to the 0. My midtone is starting for the 5 up to 384. This is exactly my point of doing exposing. But when you are doing like this, it's good thing, but you're going to find your picture looks aggressive. And if you see the picture perfectly like this, it's very aggressive. It's the contrast, or I mean the exposure, the overall picture, it look granching. I don't know what I can explain this. Is this because the exposing is not perfectly? You can't see this type of picture to the professional colorists. You can't. This is another mistake they do, because they want very highlighted picture and then do be like this. And as some of them, they don't understand, if this picture, there is no light, super light in it, and they want to push the light up forward. At the meantime, there is no light. If you see the picture, that's exactly how the picture is. There is no light inside of it. So you have to be aware with your exposing issues. All right, so another big issues they face, or another problem they got, is doing a dynamic separations and chorus separations. There is difference between dynamic and chorus separations. When I talk about chorus separation, is splitting about these two things, subject and background. There has to be difference between those from set to the color grading. You can't just do a split toning at a picture that have a similar of color overall. From background to foreheads, they all have a same color. If you want to do a commercial color grading, and you have, maybe we can say you have a white to the background, and also you have a white to the forehead, there's no split toning. What you have to do is doing your dynamic separations, so your picture is going to be have health. When you talk about dynamic separations, is about you are doing a contrast issues, the tonal range. People can see this is the person's fault and this is something backwards, without any using, or without using any of what without using any of our color separation things. So to work on that, you can just do this. You can desaturate all the picture just like that. You can desaturate all the picture, so to see the depth. So now you don't see any color issues, you don't see any separation of the color. So we're going to work on dynamic separation. So what I'm about to do is pushing shadow to see the shadow, pushing highlight to see the highlights, pushing the mid-tone to see the mid-tone like this. So now we see exactly everything is on point like this. You have to be very careful when you're doing your tonal mapping, because this is taking time and it taking a lot of days to practice. Now you can see how the picture is contrasted, how the picture is separated itself. You see, this is black points, this is shadow points, this is middle points. There's no highlight to the picture. That's why I told you before, there's no highlight. But if it the highlight, you could see the highlight exactly how highlight is seen. So when I just bypass this, you're going to feel how exactly the picture is being contrasted, or the tonal, how the separation it be. The picture is very separated. So one of the big mistakes that a beginner they do, you're going to see if their picture work like this and this. Overall picture, it look very washed out. I don't know what exactly they do. There is no separation, and still the separation can found in this, because we do have a contrast. Maybe they just come here, play around with offset like this, gamma, gain. If you watch carefully this picture, there is no much separation inside of it, even though the exposure is balanced perfectly, but you can't see the depth of dynamic, what exactly is coming forward. If you see the skin, if you see this color, if you see the background, all overall pictures looking the same. This is another mistake that beginner they do when they do color grading. The overall pictures doesn't have any separation. People can't feel like what is forwards and what is backwards, and they feel like, okay, doing separation, we're going to do the color grading, but still they didn't do to the dynamic, because some of pictures not like we have to see the color. Some of picture we have to see exactly the image, the exposing the image. So today we're going to breaking that down. Don't feel like, okay, this is just end of a tutorial, it's going to be like this. By analyzing your mistakes, I'm still going to do a process how you can stop what you have to stop and what you have to do to your next project. Okay, now we are doing color grading. We're starting at number one things that you have to do. The first thing is color management. When you are doing color management, make sure you put exactly information from your camera, like this one, because this is Blackmagic 6K and it's Gen 5. So I'm going to use the exactly format that director shot, like this. This is how exactly I'm going to use my Rec 79 as my output. There's a lot of outputs, but this is very favorite one. And make sure you are not doing things outside of color sciences. That is the big mistakes. Make sure everything you do is inside of color sciences, and this is exactly what the best way you can do. And this color space transformation is going to be our last node, which is to do extra thing outside of it. Is going to be maybe all effects or 30 plugins that you have to do with it, but any other issues is coming inside of that. That is going to give you a big room, big flexibility space for doing your things, your further adjustments without crashing your images. Okay, another thing, the next things to do, number two, what exactly you have to be aware is exposing the picture. But before I jump into the exposing, I'm going to use before I jump into exposing, first thing that I love to do is dynamic separations. So the dynamic separation, I often like to use a curve. This is like equalizing the picture. It's like you are using equalizer to the audio if you are the producers, but to the picture we have these plugins or these two called curves. This is most of beautiful tools that I often like to use when I do a separation of a picture. So the thing that I'm going to do is doing a bit of splitting, So I'm going to crank down the shadow and as well as a highlight, just like this, and I'm going to push the shadow until I starting see it give me nice splitting, as well as the highlights. Look how beautiful our picture is being contrasted, how separated. You see that's flattening things, even though the picture was inside of even the picture is a Rec 709, but this is how it been look from the set. So as you colorist, you have to do your further things to make it look perfect, and this is what I found to the picture. So this is the second thing you have to do before do your exposing. So in exposure, we do exposing before putting your tonoring, before you are doing your tonoring. Let me tell you this, there are so many ways of doing your tonoring, or you are doing your tonal shape, or you're doing your dynamic separations. This is one of the ways that I use, and I use there is working perfect for this image. One of the mistakes that's other the beginners or colorists they do, the process that they do into this video on this project, they also do the same exactly process to the another project, and I'd be like, okay, it's going to work out. No, it doesn't work like that. Every footage, every image, it has its own problems, it has own way of doing it to make it perfect, because it gives you different results. So it's not like I do this in here, end up do this. I can do this into this way, maybe to the another way, maybe to the another way. I can do another way because of the exactly what I'm cutting. So the exactly things that I do to my contrast, sometimes it doesn't work out. sometimes I can use another way. So to know those different ways, that's why I explain a lot and I tell you a lot. Masterclass can help you to get knowledge about that. So which way is best for you to do for this, which way is best for you to do for this and this and this and this. It's not easy, and it's not like the thing that you have to understand it only in one day. It's not like that. Okay, so to the exposing, there is a different tools that we have to use to make the perfect of images. There is a lifting gamma gain, there is the shadow highlights, and also there's HDR. So this thing works differently, and I can't explain about it every single each of them. It's wasting of time. As I told you, those things is explained about to the masterclass, but today I'm about to show you how and what you have to do when you are doing color grading. So number one is color management, the color senses. Number two is dynamic separation. Number three is exposing. This is supposed to be number one, and this is supposed to be number two. This is supposed to be number three, and this is supposed to be number two, and this is supposed to be number three. Sorry, but to me, I'm starting with the number three of a contrast so that I can see what's of a separation and be aware of a separation, and then I'm back to number two, which is exposing. So to the exposing, I'm using a false color. This is very perfect and good plugins to balance exposure if you are the beginner, and I explain about this, how to use it. And as you can see, my picture looks good about exposing. There is no anything that I can do further, maybe just increasing a bit of my highlights and pushing my shadow so that a little bit it can clean. That lady her skin tone is a bit darker, but I'm focused on the hair. It's looking perfect. And maybe I can decrease the highlights a bit, and when I take off, see how beautiful exposing this picture. And then I'm coming to HDR to increase overall exposure and clean up the shadow a little bit and take it down a highlight. Look how beautiful I did to my exposing picture. The separation is still there and the exposing is still there. Nothing loose over details at all. So now let's jump into number four. One of this thing that you have to be aware when you're doing your color grading. Number one was I'm about to remind you. Number one is color management, which is color size. Number two is a contrast or dynamic separations, or in another language I call it ratio. And number three is exposure. These are things that you have to be aware. So we're going to jump into number four, which is, we call it color separation, split on what and what. Here in this node I'm going to call it balance, and then I'm going to create another node which is going to be like split on. Here we do a color separations. All right, what exactly color separation do? A color separation is splitting from the background to the forehead. It doesn't matter which tools you use or how many processes you have to make sure you have a very perfect splitting, and it's not necessary to the color grading, but in some pictures it's necessary. The picture like this, it needs a split on in. Maybe you have a split on from the set, maybe you have a split on to the post, maybe you don't have to do split on because the overall pictures look commercial. Maybe you just only have to work with dynamic separation and not color separations. All right, the first split on is starting to the what we call it, is starting from this first split on is starting to the a balance of a picture. I mean white balance. When you have a perfect white balance, the split on is going to work perfectly. Like this picture, it's very warmer, So you see over whole pictures look red or look yellow. So when I play with the balance, now you can see we have splitted things going on. We have a very different things going on, and split on is about to do differentiations. You see, now you see the blue to the background. Now you see the yellow tones or warm tone to the subject. This is the first of our split on. So let's do a further digging to push it more towards the picture. There is two way of doing a splitting. There's a two way of doing a splitting. Okay, let me tell you about it. There's a way of doing splitting by using a curves, and there is also a way of doing a splitting by using wheels. Using wheels, you have to do a complementing things. Like I want my lift, my shadow to be into cold parts, I mean cyan, and my midtone again to be in warm parts. So we have to push more further splitting, just like this. You can see now we have a very nice splitting. Like we have the differentials about the shadows and highlights and midtones, you see, like this. But a picture just like this, it doesn't have to do the splitting like this. There's a lot of splitting, and I explained about it in my past tutorials. So if you used to watch my videos, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, there's another this way of doing split on, like using a curve. So you can switch this and do like this. Maybe I can pull down this to the shadows so that I can cool out this bluish to the background, and pull the red to the midtone, as well as pulling the red to the highlights like this, and increase the blue tone to the background like this. This is the way of us creating a split on. Maybe I can play with the green. Maybe I want to make a cyan a bit and cream like this, so like this, but I still want the reds to be pop. I can pull the red more further. Now you're starting to see how the picture is getting splitted. You see how it's separated itself. It's a very less changes, but it's something. You see how difference. One of the things that I like to do a split on or do separation by using curve, it's give you a very slightly changes, and it doesn't affect it too much. Whenever we're using it well, it's kind of giving us a little of, like dirtying things to the picture, which is we don't like. But look how beautiful the curves do to us. All right, a feather of color separations, because we're still doing a color separations. A feather of color separation is by using a qualifier. This is another way of doing a feather separation. So we're going to do a qualifying of a picture just like this, and we're going to do like this. So I'm going to push my skin more further like this, and then I'm coming again, qualify this, maybe this cloth. But when you're doing your qualifications, please make sure you are doing with 10-bit footages. But when you are doing with the 8-bit footage, I recommend you to use curves instead of qualifying. I recommend you to use UV curves. So yeah, it's a workout to you. So I'm coming to the game again, pushing my that pink. That is too much. This close a bit. Now you see how exactly it's splitting from this area, this background, to our subject. See how much it's further pushing our pictures more further. This is why we call it a color separation. The color is separated, the skin tone, the red and that magenta. See before, see and after. See how much it's pushing our pictures differently parts of it. All right, we're still on it. So as you can see, why I've got a perfect qualification selection to the skins and that's close. Is it because this split on it's helped to calculate a perfect the image? When I take it off, you're going to see the background is also selected. When I take it off, you only see the skins that are selected, and this is why I love doing this technique. All right, as you can see, we have a 4 stuff going on to do. So we already did a color management, which is color size transformations. We did exposing and dynamic separations, and we do our separation, color separation. Color separation started from balance, split toning, qualify, some of parts that you need to qualify. And also dynamic separation can be created with vignettes, and often sometimes I do so. All right, so now let's jump into create a look. This is like a start of a look, so you can create a look like this is a more advanced way. Okay, I can create a look like using this thing, like I want that to be warm, just like this, to be maybe cinematic, chromium, and do so. Maybe I can do like this, saturate the beach, creating that's doing orange into things. Like this is advanced way, like doing HSV things. You guys know about it and I explain about it. And there's these plugins, they call it or DCTR. You guys know about it. It's a beautiful preset, and I love how it does imagine to the color. Maybe I can work with it. You see how beautiful it's splitting our pictures perfectly. This one's beautiful plugins that I ever experienced. Right, like creating a bold like this, maybe. Like you see now the overall picture is looking warm, cinematic warm, but we still have separations going on to the so that's it. That is how a color grading have done, and it's looking very beautiful and perfect. So this is how we create a look, and the more further is doing your juices, I call it a secret sauces, like doing this and this. Maybe I could come and this select this red pot and try to desaturate this pot to have that muty skin tone, not the popping one. Maybe I can do vignettes just like this. I can have another dynamic separation splitting between a background and a subject. So I can do this, making them keep coming forward like this. You see before and after, like doing HSV saturation things if you're feeling. Okay, today let me give you another tip, something else to do. Maybe doing sharpening the picture to boost details. There's these things. If you don't have a Cosmo and you want to make a smoothing of our skin, I mean, there's these plugins can work in perfectly to your image. If you want to have a smoothing skins, what you have to do is qualify your skin tone like this. I will qualify the skin tone like this. All right, and put these plugins, they call it D.O.P. It can smooth up your skin if you don't have a softening plugins to your skin tone. You see how beautiful it makes my skin tone. You see before, now you see after, how beautiful the skin tone look. And now we done doing our color grading. So let's reviewing where we come from and starting tell you about the process that we have done until we achieve this color. Okay, as we follow the rules, and as I told you, 5 things that you have to be aware when you do your color grading, and this is what exactly we have done to our color grading process until we've got this type of look. And as you can see, this was before and this is after those 5 things that we have to do, and we from 4 so far. So we're going to start with the first thing is color management and doing color, it's doing color space transformation was this one, and the picture was like this. And number 2 is exposure, to do an exposure, and it was a very less. You can't see the result until we switch on a separation. The separation is give us the life, and most of people, they have a problem of doing tonal range, the splitting going on, and this is what I've done. And another thing is our color separations. How we do our color separated, we started from this and this and this, and this is our color separation. Look how much further we push into our color separations, and here we got our look where we create and we design our mood, our look board, and this one is where we created our look. This is our look. It gives us our final result. All right, thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you guys understanding and got what I've been talking about. These 5 things is very important to the color grading, and no one going to tell you about this. And deeper explanations is explained on my master classes. This was quick thing. Was very rush thing. So if you are good on your mind, you can have this as your guidance. But if you want a very deeper explanation, you can come and I will explain it to you right away. I have a 101 masterclass course. 101 means like live sessions. I have a masterclass which is already created and prepared enough. It's long house videos, and I have a loot package, and I have a WhatsApp group. I have a people that can guide you. Your other fellow students can guide you and put you to the next level, from beginner to the professional levels. See you on next tutorial.